What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. Want to drop this in your lap right here. Many people have been saying over the years that, African immigrants who come into America has a hand up or an advantage when coming into the country over the average Black American. Now, I know there are those who come either for college. There are those who come visit family. There are those who might even be immigrants who are coming as refugees. Now, I've done many of different research into looking at how advantageous or how much benefit does an African have over a Black American when coming in this country. Now, I'm going to say this right here. The majority of people who come to America, typically the most, are, guess what? You got it. Majority of the people are refugees who come into America from African countries. And you have large Somalian populations, specifically Columbus, Ohio. You have those who are in Minneapolis, Minnesota. These are the largest, with Minneapolis number one for the largest African population that exist in America. But there are also college programs that students take advantage of that America will allow different countries of youth to come in and go to college. Now, that is a minuscule number. But is it advantage over a Black American? Well, we do know there are a lot of brothers and sisters here in America who do not qualify to get into colleges. I used to coach at a high school. My first high school, it was a suburban school. And it was my first time coaching high school basketball. And I realized that majority of the basketball players in the suburban school, majority of them all went to college. The average ACT or SAT score, I think it was ACT, was about a 24. Now, my second job I went to the inner city to coach at an all-Black school. The average score was a 15. Many of the players couldn't even get into college. Matter of fact, while I was there for 2 years, we had 2 players that went to college. And it was a struggle for those to get that 19. Now, there were some on the team who got 16, 17s, what have you, but most of them were around the 16, 15 range and just could not get in colleges. But, they were able to go to community colleges, but very few took advantage of that. Matter of fact, the 2 years that I was there and 2 students who went off to college, both of them didn't even make it. They dropped out. Now, I say this right here because I have noticed that Africans who come into a country like America, they all have PhDs. As a basketball coach in a high school, we said we were always looking for players who had PhDs. Poor, hungry, and driven. These were the students we found, basketball players, who was trying to get themselves out of a hard situation, who was poor enough, hungry enough, and had a drive enough to want to go ahead, play ball, take their schoolwork serious because they believed they could get out of their situation. Isn't that the same for Africans who come into America? Majority of them come because they are PhDs, poor, hungry, and driven. Now, many scoff at us who are here in this country, especially at the ones who are poor, when they don't understand that why would you not take advantage of those opportunities, getting good grades in school, so that you can go to college, so you can get a good job and you can make money? This is their mindset, because when they're in Africa, all they hear and see is that success, success, money, money, money. But they don't understand on the other side that the struggles and the journey along of how much distraction that one can fall into a pit hole or fall into an area of sickness or mentally. When you talking about drugs are around you, your mom and daddy are not even there at home or on strung out on drugs. You know, you got the prostitutes, the pimp pushers, and all of these things that inner city kids struggle with. But an African don't have that exposure. Majority of Africans do not have that downfall or that pitfall in their path before coming to America. What they find out is when they get here, it's a different story. Now, I'm not saying that, every African looks down on any brother and sister in America, but I will say I've heard the stories, I even seen a time or two, that they are very inquisitive of wanting to know, why aren't they taking advantage, blacks in America, of every opportunity they can get, because in Africa, they don't get it. Now, I found out too that many Africans come here, and once they get their citizenship or they get established, they have to go through the proper channels like any one of us. And that is getting a loan if you're trying to get a business, get a loan if you're trying to get a house. That there isn't necessarily a preferential treatment. That the struggle that they go through, they got to build credit. They got to go ahead and establish a citizenship. They got to have some type of person to vouch for them. There might be a little more extenuating for where we may not need that. But you got many Africans who are here in America who are poor, who are working day to day, who are, putting their time in and energy, but they look at it like the opportunity of making more money here in this country, they can send some more money back home. And that money that we call a little here in America goes a long way in Africa. So my message to many is that if you don't have a PhD, if you are just, don't care, if you don't have the drive, if you're not hungry enough for trying to succeed, if you're not, poor enough, meaning that, you don't have a silver spoon handed to you. You don't have any other way out. It's all predicated upon your work, your studies, how you do. Isn't that life? How you do. Because I know that I've watched many a kid, talked to many a kid, counsel many a kids, being that I coached in a high school at 8 years, but I also coached in city leagues for about 5 years. And then, I find that the biggest problem within the Black community is not that the youth have failed, it's that the adults have failed them. Now, Africans who come to seize the moment in America or in Europe, in Canada, in Ukraine and Russia and Poland, they're all over. You better believe they have a long track record of succeeding because they don't want to go back to being poor, hungry, and driven. In America, it is almost like proud to be poor, hungry, and driven. So my message out to each and every one and you share this message to someone, that if you want to succeed, be like the African, coming from a place that is PhD, poor, hungry, and driven. This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa.